In this video, I'd like to introduce you to a logic puzzle that I've called Lone Star. The concept has been around for a while and implemented under different names, but that's the name that I've chosen for this puzzle. So here we have a puzzle of size 8 by 8. As you can see, it's an 8 by 8 grid, and it of course has 8 rows and 8 columns, but it also has 8 colored regions. And if you look, you can see that each region doesn't necessarily have 8 cells in it. They're all of varying sizes. Okay, so the rules of the puzzle are very simple. They're just 2 rules. Every row, column, and region must contain 1 star. And no 2 stars may be adjacent, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Okay, so let's start to solve. One of the easiest ways to begin is to look for any regions that are contained solely within 1 row or 1 column. So if you look at this plum region over here, it's all in this column. And because one of these 3 cells is going to be a star, no other cells in that column can be a star. So we can invalidate those cells. Similarly, in this row has to be a green in one of those 2 cells, the star. So therefore, those cells cannot be a star. Okay, now, if we have a look at this row over here, it's entirely contained orange. So this row will contain a star, and that's going to be in the orange region. So therefore, any other orange cell cannot be a star. So now, in fact, if we look at this row, there's only 1 place left for the star. So that must be a star. So we can invalidate everything in that column and also the diagonal ones. In fact, we can obviously then eliminate everything else in this red region. Okay. Now, if we look at these 2 green cells, one of them contains a star. So any cells adjacent to that cannot be a star. So if you look at those 2, would be adjacent to either of the 2 green cells, they cannot be a star. Similarly, if you look at these 3 purple, that cell is adjacent to all 3 of those, one of which is a star. So that cannot be a star, and that also cannot be a star. Now let's look at something else. If we look at the last 2 columns, we see that the blue star must go in one of these 2 columns. The same thing for the green. So the blue and green stars are in the last 2 columns. If the blue went there, the green would go there. If the blue went in one of those 2 cells, the green star would go in that cell. Therefore, any other cells in those 2 columns outside of those regions cannot be a star. So we can eliminate that, that, and that. If we look now at this column, for the yellow, the star must be in this column for yellow, so it cannot be there, there, or there. And in fact, if we look at this row now, there's only 1 place left for the orange region in that row, and that's there. So we can eliminate that, and the diagonals. And that means that that's a star. There's only 1 left here, so that's a star. So we're getting close to the end. In the pink region, that's a star, so we can eliminate that and that. And in fact, in this row, there's only 1 place left for the star, so we can eliminate that. The diagonal there, which means that the green star goes there and the blue star goes there. Okay, there we have it. We've solved the first puzzle. And I hope it's demonstrated to you a few of the techniques you can use to solve these types of puzzles. Well, have fun solving them.